I am excited to have Natalia Mendoza, owner of Patisserie Cafe, on the Business Spotlight today. And my name is David Dowdy. I own Action Coach Lake Norman, a business education, training, and coaching firm here in Mooresville. But Natalia, it's great to have you on today. Why don't you tell us about yourself and about Patisserie Cafe and give us your story?
Okay, well, I'm Natalia. I'm the daughter of the founders and owners of Patisserie Cafe. We are a bakery cafe. We have breakfast all day. We have crepes, pastries made from scratch, lunch. We do catering. We actually started our business from our house back in Hickory over 25 years ago when we came from Colombia. My dad was a horse trainer and my mom was stay-at-home mom, and we're trying to figure out what to do. And she had been trained in culinary. Like all her life, she had loved baking and creating things in the kitchen. So we started with that, and we started selling pastries in the after church. We would open the back of the car, and then we would put a table out and just sell pastries. And then from there, people loved them. And so they told us like, oh, you should go to the
Mm.
stores, the Mexican stores around the area, and maybe sell there. So we would I remember after school, we would be cleaning trays and things like that. And it was a lot of fun. And the business, since it started doing so well, my dad said, well, I want to kind of get away from training horses. uh, why don't we try to look for a shop or something to open our own restaurant or our own bakery? And so we actually were looking to open a bakery in the Charlotte area,
Mhm.
but Charlotte, we were in Hickory. Charlotte was too far away. Also, Charlotte was very expensive. So to start a business there, it was just, so my dad, we stumbled upon Mooresville, and Mooresville was very different to how it is right now. But my dad saw the vision of the town, like all the qualities. He absolutely saw the potential for growth. And so we started a business in a corner on Main Street. I don't know if you've been long enough in Mooresville, you would have been to that location. Is where a brewery is right now.
Oh,
I don't
yes, on Williamson
know.
Road.
No, on
Or-
Main Street,
Oh, wait a
downtown.
minute. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. And so,
Awesome.
yep. And from there, we moved out because we needed more space, and we moved to where we are currently in downtown Mooresville by the Dollar General.
Mhm.
And that was Mr. Teeter. He owned the building, so he gave us a great deal. He was our little angel that kind of helped us out when, we were very unknown. And, the banks, that wasn't the era where they were giving free money. That's when it was very hard to get a loan, when you didn't have a history of a lot of owning businesses and all that. Nobody would let you borrow money. So we kind of had to just do it all from the ground up with not a lot of help, but we did have several like key people that really helped us in our journey. And
That's
then,
fantastic.
yeah,
Okay, so man, what an interesting start. So it sounds like you were young, 25 years ago,
yeah, yeah.
right?
So
So
my sister and I were 14 and 15, like 15. So
okay,
yeah, we were
so
very young.
okay, so this may be even better for your parents, but if you had to do it all over again, knowing what you know now, what do you think you would have done differently?
I think we kind of would have planned more. We went into it very naive and very we know how to cook well, our products are delicious, we're going to be successful, you know. And really it takes a lot more to run a business. That's kind of I feel like people think that the most important thing is having a good product. But the most important thing is being organized and knowing how to follow through and knowing what's important about selling a product so that the business is successful. Because just having a good product is kind of like, it's good for you, for your, I guess, to demonstrate that you're capable, but
Hmm.
you can also go bankrupt easily if you don't know how to sell your product properly and what you need to charge for it and all those things. So just
Isn't
doing a
that?
lot of research would be my main thing, and not just letting it happen to you, but taking control of how it happens. And we kind of we went to that way after a while, but at the beginning we're just, like putting out fires everywhere. And it worked for us because it was four of us. But I think if you're a business owner and it's just you and you have people that work for you, but they're not family, then you really, really need to be very prepared, research, um, go to other places, businesses like the ones you want to own, and see if somebody will talk to you. Because if somebody came up to me and asked me like, hey, I want a meeting with you, I'm thinking of putting a bakery, maybe like in somewhere, obviously not in Mooresville, that is like direct competition, but and 2 towns away, that's not my direct competition. I would tell them the reality of what it is so they're aware,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's important.
Absolutely. It was what you just said a minute ago about, yes, it's important to have a good product or service, but the organization and the planning and all to be successful is key. I mean, the reality I was thinking about, there are a lot of businesses that do not have good products or services, but yet they really thrive. So the importance of the business side and the consistency is actually very, very
Yeah,
important.
people are more, they want consistency more than they want a great product. So what I tell everybody is people will settle for a less than great quality, but if you have a meeting and you have a catering and your meeting is at 9 and you don't get there till 9:15 and you have all these excuses, people won't use you, even if it could be like a Michelin star restaurant, because you have a meeting and it starts at 9 and you need the food to be there when it starts. So no matter how good it is, they rather have like an okay food, but everything running smoothly than, this great thing that they can't control.
Absolutely. That's great. So you mentioned there were four of you running the business,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, a lot of people jump into business with these thoughts about just how great it's going to be, all the money you're going to make, and the free time and that kind of thing. What are some of the misconceptions that you think people have, or even you've had,
I think
and what's the reality of it?
the misconceptions are one, that you're gonna have all this free time and your own boss, and so it's gonna be great. Um, and that's a very big one for me, that I think, because you are not your own boss. Like the business is the boss of you. So the business is like at the heart of everything. When you're in an office job, you have a bad day, like you close that computer, you go home, you may think about what's going on. But if you're in the business, you have to be responsible for it. So you have, like, especially in a restaurant, the cook called out, you're at your daughter's basketball game. They give you a call, you have to drop that and go. And so I think realizing the stage of life you're at, also, like if you have, I don't know, if you're a mom with 2 young kids, starting a bakery by yourself, I would advise against it. Not that I don't want women to own businesses and be, but you
Sure.
also have to know, what's important, and your business is going to take so much from you. And you need to be aware and willing to do that, because if you don't, the business will fail. And so not only did you give up all these things, but at the end, you won't have anything to show for it. So that's even more sad than even not starting a business.
Yeah. I find myself telling people as they are thinking about a business and they're working through the plans, however much money you think it's going to take, double it.
Oh,
You know, how
absolutely.
much time you think it's going to take to get to a certain point, double it.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
Time, money, effort, all of it.
that's right.
People just think it's gonna be great. It's this fairy tale. Like you see successful business people and you want to be like them, but you don't see all the work they put in. You don't see all those hours. There's absolutely no successful business that hasn't taken every single waking minute of that person to get it there. And then
Hmm.
afterwards, yeah, they can relax and they have things in place, but I can't imagine of a successful business where the people haven't given it their all at the beginning or like through most of it.
Right, right. So you and your family have 25 years. Wow.
Yeah.
And I know that you've grown, you've got a great reputation in the marketplace. What do you attribute all of that to? What do you attribute your successes to?
We have always believed in the product that we sell. So any product that we put out is because we like it and we hold it to a very high standard, and all the experience around the food as well. We want it to be a great experience. We want it to feel like you're going into somebody's house, for dinner, for lunch or breakfast, you want to feel like that kind of welcoming
Mhm.
vibe, and trying to keep that always on top, like top quality, top service. People come back for that. People appreciate that, and people will always come back for that. And knowing your name, if you come, more than 2 times a week, we're gonna know who you are.
Yeah.
We're gonna know your order. We're gonna do all those things, and people really appreciate that. And the final thing I think that has been something that has kept us successful over time is we always look at what we're doing, where we're going right, and what we're doing wrong. And we're always evolving. So we don't stay static and we think, oh, we did great this year. Like, let's just do this. We're like, okay, where can we improve? What can we do different? Like, what? And so every time we're thinking, oh, we need to fix this. We need to paint over here. We need to do a new this, change the chairs. Like, we're always trying to keep it uh, nice and be better each year.
Mhm.
And I think just like be ever evolving is what's kept us in where we are, because most
Right.
restaurants fail within the first 3 years. So
That's right. That's right. And
yeah,
make it 25 years is
yeah.
fantastic. Um, so you are family, there's demands, personal demands, business demands. How do you keep that balance in check? How do you manage all of that?
It's very hard, and we have had to be very intentional about it. We weren't at the beginning, and we were, you know, missing out. My sister and I, we have young daughters.
Mm.
Uh, we couldn't go to their activities. We couldn't do a lot of things, and that's one of the reasons. Also, we were like selling the other location is because we had to choose what comes first. And business is great, but family is greater. And so you can't overlook your family to be successful. And there's people that do, but now with the restaurant and finding people to work for and everything, it's gotten harder to. And so what we did was put our family first, and we sold that location. And now four of us managing one, it's easier to do that. But the one thing that I say is you have to be very, very intentional about it, because it doesn't happen organically. Organically, you will be at your business at all time and you will not manage your family time.
That's right. Very
So
good. Thanks. Thank you for sharing that. I know some of the tough decisions and prioritizing sometimes, but holding true to that. So you mentioned employees. Do you have employees now, or is it all
yeah,
family? Okay.
no, we have around 10 employees plus
Okay.
us.
Okay. So what are you looking for now, in your years of wisdom? What do you look for in an employee to identify who's really going to be the right fit for your team?
I think first and foremost, they have to know how to talk to people. This is a business. Nowadays, people are so into their phones and to their own things that they have lost those interpersonal skills. And so just by how somebody comes in and presents themselves, you know immediately if they're gonna work or not, at least on that level, right? Somebody's like comes in with their head down, and they're like, hello, and they like barely, they don't even look at you in the eyes. And you would think that that's crazy what I'm saying, but we've
Hmm.
had many people come in and interview. And the younger people, it's absolutely, I just can't even believe it sometimes. I'm like, you're not even looking at me in the eyes. How can I give you a job? You know, like if you don't do it to me that I'm your future boss, like you're not gonna do it with our customers.
That's
If you
right.
don't look your customers in the eyes, they're not gonna feel welcome. They're not gonna buy stuff from us. So they have to have good interpersonal skills and just they have to be excited to work there. I know a job is a job, but you also have to have a job, so you need to make the most out of it. So you have to have that kind of passion of like, well, I'm at a job, but at least I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to be taking care of the customers. Just they have to be on top of it, just wanting to always do something because that's that's it. It doesn't require much to be successful, you know, up front or in the kitchen. Those jobs or any job I think is very simple, but you have to have the desire to do it well. And that's the
Mhm.
main thing I look for is a
Yeah,
desire to do a good job.
that's great. And that energy shows through, and customers certainly appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, Fantastic. Okay, so have been around. What words of advice as we kind of wrap this up? What words of advice might you give a young business owner, entrepreneur, somebody that's either already in it but
Mm-hmm.
building up, or thinking about starting a business? What words of wisdom might you share with them?
Um, I would say that to just do a lot of research, rely on people, um, find your key people that are going to help you and reach out. Reach out. There's so many people willing to give you advice, you know, if you just ask. And so just not trying to figure it out on your own. You people have been through this. Like there's been millions of restaurants, millions of businesses. Like find somebody to help you. That's the advice I would give them.
Fantastic. All right, Natalia, Mendoza, Patisserie Cafe. What's the best way that somebody could reach out to you or find you if they're interested?
And they can go to our website,
Okay.
patisseriecafe.com,
Uh-huh.
uh, or they could go to our location at 627 North Main Street in Mooresville, North Carolina. And those are the two best ways to reach it.
Excellent. Natalia, I really appreciate you being on the Business Spotlight today. This is fantastic. Thanks for sharing your experience and all your wisdom.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.